The most valuable lesson that you can take from today's video is not going to be gate-kept until the end to try and keep you watching. Rather, I'm going to hit you with it straight off the bat, and it's exactly this. Don't wait until you're playing poorly to start recording your swing and trying to figure out what's gone wrong in your technique. Rather, if you can capture your swing when you're playing your best golf, all of a sudden you're going to equip yourself for when the time comes, which it comes to us all. The sport is hard enough. You will go through periods where you're struggling with your game. But if you've recorded your swing when you're playing your best golf, you're going to have a clear blueprint that you can go back over to help get you back on track. And that's exactly what Wyndham Clark did in order to get back on track with his own golf game and win his second US Open at Shinnecock Hills. Now, following his first US Open win, it's no secret that he did struggle to maintain that form, but he and his coach sat down, looked at videos from when he was playing his best golf in that 2022-23 period, and they created a drill station, which I'm about to show you in today's video.
I was somewhere kind of up right there and better stuff.
So here's another unique camera angle to check out this practice station that Wyndham Clark and his coach have put together to attack each piece of his technique that needed attention to get him back to playing his best golf. You can have too much of a good thing in your golf swing. Now that is relative to what you're trying to do with the golf ball, but for a power fader of the golf ball like Wyndham Clark is, that means although he will want his club path working left at impact, he can be in a position sometimes where maybe that club path is a little bit too left and he's a bit too steep and across it, which brings us to the first parts of this drill station, where you can see that golf ball is teed up quite a lot for an iron, and the lower someone tees up the golf ball, the more that encourages them to hit a fade. The higher they tee it up, the opposite is true, and that they're going to be more inclined to hit a draw. And that's exactly what Wyndham Clark tends to see when he has this drill station set up on the range. It encourages him to hit up a little bit more with his attack angle, and the pad works more to the right, and he produces a draw. When he goes to the golf course, it is his power fade that is what he relies on, but it just is a nice simple part of his drill station that gives him a nice constraint to avoid being excessively steep and across and overdoing what helps him hit that power fade. The next gadget that's probably going to catch your eye is what's on his wrist right here. So this is very popular on tour at the moment. It's a relatively new training aid. It's called the Pro Sender, designed by Tiger Woods' former coach Seán and a PGA professional called David Woods. And this is certainly having a big effect on Wyndham Clark's backswing and his wrist structure, because as we take this to the top, you can see, before we do that, if we take a quick zoomed in look, we can see it's not engaged with that device just yet, but as he takes his way up to the top and his right wrist extends like so, we can now see that the back of that right hand fits neatly into the training aid. Now, as a result, as his right wrist extends back, that also avoids him having any excessive cup in the lead wrist. This is also something that he worked on throughout the off-season. That lead wrist, Wyndham had spoke about in interviews that it had got a little bit too much cup, a little bit too much extension. So the Pro Sender doing an excellent job of getting his wrist structure in a place where the club face and the club shaft are also in some very tidy positions at the top of the backswing. When we look down the body here, of course, you'll spot the alignment stick through the belt loops. And as I say, for Wyndham, who is a fader of the golf ball, the last thing he wants is to be stuck in behind him with his arms and his club too deep in the downswing. So as we play him on into the downswing, this can also be quite a common one that you see on tour, where in order to not clatter into the alignment stick here, his arms and club are forced to work out a little bit more in front of him on the way down here. So great feedback mechanism. Again, we can see he's done a nice job of clearing things out in front of him, not caught that alignment stick. And also a good image here to show you that for someone who fades the golf ball, again, we talked about the tee playing a role in that, maybe not showing up on the driving range so much, but when we look at the amount that his hips have cleared, again, not the best angle to see that particular part of the golf swing, but again, good enough to show you, particularly when we see with the help of where that alignment stick is pointing, that you don't have to be super open with your body at impact to be able to play a fade. That is a misconception I find that a lot of amateurs do have. They feel like they need to spin open quite dramatically, but again, not necessarily the case here. as we come through impact, coming back to the Pro Center device on his wrist here, what you're going to notice, particularly at this point here, is the Pro Center is now off the wrist. So again, another misconception that some amateurs have when they play a fade is that they have to really hold that face open the entire way, or certainly a long portion of the way into the follow through. But we see, because of the release, we can see that his right wrist hasn't stayed in extension the whole way through, and you can see again the device has come off into the follow through, like so. As we continue to play things on into the finish, perfectly poised follow through as you'd expect from a two-time major champion who's got his swing very much back under control, with some checkpoints that he can look for in the form of a few key devices that he set up with the alignment sticks on the ground, the high tee, and the Pro Center on his wrist. He's also worked on a lot of width in the backswing. There's some other drills out there that you'll see Wyndham Clark perform on the range, just to add a little bit more width to the backswing and add some excellent structure to complement that of what the Pro Center is doing to his wrist mechanics. If you enjoyed the insights shared in today's video and would like to connect with myself for personalized guidance to upgrade your strike, your distance, and your direction, then you can do so regardless of where you are in the world. My name is Seán Marks. I'm a PGA professional and I specialise in teaching the full swing, and I connect with golfers via an app called Skillest through my online coaching. And if you'd like to get a taste of what online coaching is all about, I know that concept is new to a lot of people out there, but it's really transforming the golf games of plenty of people from, as I say, all across the world. If you hit the link in the description box to Skillest, or simply search for Skillest on the App Store and then search for Seán Marks in the Find a Coach tab on the homepage when you've downloaded the app, you can search my profile and see a ton of testimonials from students. And also, if you follow me on Skillest, you can receive an introductory free online swing analysis to see exactly what online coaching from myself looks like. It essentially gives you me as your coach in your pocket. Kind of like the experience that a tour pro would have. Anytime you have a question, there's a chat function on Skillest that you can message me, and you'll never be waiting any longer than the next day to get some feedback. And so it really helps speed up the learning process. If there's anything you're unsure about, maybe you're curious as to whether you're performing a drill that you've been given correctly, and again, you're never going to be waiting more than the next day. So in my opinion, it helps players improve quite a bit quicker than they may do in-person coaching, because they're waiting until their next session, maybe 3 or 4 weeks later, to catch up with their coach. And if they've been practicing something incorrectly, all of a sudden they've wasted a lot of time. And success in golf loves speed. You need the right answers, and you need the right answers quickly. And that's exactly what coaching with myself on Skillest is all about. If you'd like to get started, you can receive the free introductory online swing analysis. And then from there, if you want to continue, I've got quite a few different monthly programs that you can select from, and I'll be happy to guide you towards which one is perfectly suited to you and relative to the goals that you have for yourself.